From the whispers in ancient forests to the shadows dancing in forgotten towns, humanity has always been captivated by the unknown. Tonight, we journey beyond the veil of everyday life, delving into the chilling tales that have shaped cultures for centuries. Prepare to explore the spooky myths, spine-tingling legends, and haunting folklore that linger just beyond the edge of our perception. Are you ready to discover what truly goes bump in the night? Did you know that one of the scariest places in the world is actually hiding in India? It's known as Bhangarh Fort, and if you visit after sunset, you might see some ghosts. Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Here today, we are going to be talking about one of the scariest forts in all of India. This fort is home to ghosts, creepy crawlies, and even an ancient curse. And when I tell you all about it, you will understand why the Indian government has forbidden anyone from staying here after sunset. So, let's begin. In the past, this fort used to be a popular spot for tourists to explore. That was until a few years ago when they started hearing spooky stories from locals. The scary legends made them think twice before visiting. But still, many were curious and decided to check it out for themselves. Even though they went during the day, they said they felt extremely uncomfortable, like someone was watching their every move. After hearing that, I don't know about you, but I would definitely want to leave too. Today, this fort is one of the most haunted places in India, and no one dares go near it at night. Bhangarh Fort was built around the year 700 AD in the beginning. It belonged to the royal Kashwaya clan. When it first opened, it was an ordinary fort just like any other. There were palaces, temples, gardens, watchtowers, and so much more. All of these buildings were built with red sandstone and designed in such a way that it resembled a maze. The builders wanted it to look like this so that none could escape its premises. But nowadays, most of it is in ruins because it got abandoned centuries ago. According to legend, the reason why it was left was due to a greedy priest. He lived in a village nearby called Bhangarh. One day, he went to the market to buy some supplies. On his way, he saw a merchant selling beautiful perfumes. Immediately, he wanted to have it for himself. But when he found out how expensive it was, he knew he didn't have enough money to pay for it. But that did not stop him from trying. He asked the merchant if he could buy it on credit and said he would pay him back as soon as possible. The merchant agreed and handed over the perfume to the priest. But he never paid the man back. Instead, he sold it to another person who was willing to pay for it. After doing this several times, the merchant decided to take matters into his own hands. He went straight to the king and told him what the priest had done. The king was furious and ordered his men to seize the priest's property. Everything was taken away from him, including his head. The king thought that this would teach the priest a lesson. But little did he know that it would have far-reaching consequences. One day, the king fell ill and no medicine seemed to work. So he sent his wife to seek help from the priest. She pleaded for forgiveness and promised to give him anything he wanted if he cured the king. The priest agreed, but only if the king gave him back everything that he had stolen from him. The king accepted and returned all of his belongings. The priest took a small vial from his bag and handed it to the queen. Then he instructed her to give it to the king. As soon as he drank it, the king became healthy once again. However, this did not make him keep his promise. He completely forgot about giving the priest his things back. Once again, he had to go to the king and remind him of his debt. The king became very angry, but before he could do anything, the priest cursed him. Because of that, the king's body started to collapse and turned into dust. His wife and son tried to stop the priest, but he would not listen. Then he cursed them too, and both of them turned into bones. The priest was satisfied now and returned to his village. Soon after, the entire royal family was wiped out. Their bodies can still be seen lying around the fort. There is also another legend associated with the fort. It has to do with the king's son. His name was Madho Singh. He was madly in love with a dancer named Ratnavari. They spent their days together in the palace gardens, and no one suspected a thing. But then the king caught them one day and ordered his son to marry a different princess. Madho Singh could not accept this and decided to rebel against his father. He gathered an army and prepared to attack the palace. But before he could enter, he was killed by one of the guards. Ratnavuri was heartbroken when she heard the news and jumped into a well. Her body was never recovered, and some say her ghost still haunts the premises. Over the years, these stories have changed the appearance of Bhangarh Fort. Travelers who have visited the site claim that they've seen apparitions of people wandering around. Some say they've even heard voices coming from inside the walls. It's been said that these spirits come out at night and make their presence felt. According to local folklore, the ghost of Madho Singh appears as a sad young man. He walks through the village at night and cries for his lost love. If you ever hear him, you should turn around and run away as fast as you can. Otherwise, he will follow you and haunt you for the rest of your life. The ghost of the priest is also said to appear, and he's always looking for new victims to torment. He often shows up as a shadowy figure and tries to scare people away from the premises. Sometimes he even interacts with objects and moves them around. For example, sometimes visitors report that the old trees suddenly start swaying or doors open and close on their own. When this happens, they quickly leave the premises to avoid any danger. But this is not the only reason why people are afraid to go there. Several paranormal investigators have visited the fort and conducted experiments. During their investigations, strange things began to happen. Equipment malfunctioned and batteries died unexpectedly. And some people even claimed that they were touched by invisible hands. All of this led to a horrifying conclusion. It was determined that this place is full of negative energy and no one should stay here after dark. And that's why the Indian government put a warning sign outside the fort's entrance. It strictly prohibits everyone from staying here after sunset. Apparently, if you violate this rule, you might not make it out alive. But this has not stopped many from trying. People have ignored the signs and stayed overnight in the fort. None of them have ever been seen again. Nowadays, Bhangarh Fort is considered to be one of the most haunted places in India. Locals claim that the fort is so cursed that anyone who enters will be doomed. And believe me, you don't want to find out if it's true. There are many other legends about the fort. Some people say it's located at the edge of a valley where the sun never sets. Others say that there are secret tunnels underneath the ground that lead to other parts of the country. But no one knows for sure because no one is allowed to dig there. Many treasure hunters have tried to sneak around the area and search for gold. But they, too, have vanished without a trace. So before I end this video, I want to ask you something. Would you ever visit this fort? Let me know in the comments below. I certainly wouldn't since I hate scary places. And honestly, this place sounds terrifying. So I hope you enjoyed this story about Bhangarh Fort. Please remember to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you next time.